Automatic awakening. Become a Buddha effortlessly with zero techniques. So let's get into it. How are you supposed to awaken automatically? It's quite simple. You need to follow your interests and follow your desires. Someone I really like to listen to with his awakening teachings is Frank Yang. A lot of you might have heard of him. If you haven't, go check him out. He's a great teacher. But one thing that someone asked him recently, like, how do you stop procrastinating? And the question kind of didn't compute to him. Why is that? Because Frank basically responded, he always does things for their own sake. If it is learning to play the violin, it's for its own sake. It's for an interest in the violin, or for a desire arising kind of intrinsically from the process of playing the violin. Or when it comes to meditation, or awakening, or teaching people, or filming videos, he had a natural interest in these different skills, these different topics, these different activities. And ultimately, I think if you look at your own life too, you're going to see that you function in a similar way. We can force ourselves to do things. We can force ourselves to study, to do work at a normal job. Whatever it might be, we can force ourselves to clean, we can force ourselves to work out, we can force ourselves to eat healthy. We can make ourselves do what we think we ought to do all day long. That still isn't going to produce the best of results. I think the internet has seen enough of this discipline core content, David Goggins force it content, to where we've kind of come to understand that's not necessarily the way either. If you have zero discipline, you're not going to get far. If you force everything, you're going to struggle as well. So let's find the middle way here. What is the middle way? Ultimately, you need to find where your desires lie that also move you forward. And when it comes to awakening, it's rather simple. If you're watching this video, you want to pursue enlightenment, you think you actually have the ability to awaken. Or rather, you think you have the ability, I hope, to see through the illusion that there could be a person who could go on an awakening journey. I hope you see that that is kind of an ironic thing to say. Why is it? Because at the end of the day, if we're going to become enlightened, we have to dissolve the illusion of a self, of an individual who is going to awaken. That's part of the awakening process, is we have to dissolve many, many illusions. But one of the core illusions is of you being a human being in a specific, concrete point in time who can start unawakened, end awakened. First off, reality doesn't work in this arrow of time concept. This is just a way we can imagine things working. So we can have a concept to kind of fit into our way of seeing the world and hopefully get somewhere. But at the end of the day, we're going to dissolve illusion after illusion if we want to awaken deeply. And if we want to authentically awaken automatically, we have to first realize that you can't do anything to awaken yourself. You are actually helpless to your own desire to awaken. And if you have zero desire to awaken, well, actually, you're doing a pretty good job if you can reach that. But most people, they're going to have some non-zero amount of desire to awaken, And other people are going to have a shitload maximal degree to awaken. And actually, like if we look at the story of the Buddha, we're going to see that can be problematic too. Because again, we don't want to force everything. We don't want to try to brute strength our way to awakening. Ultimately, we're going to be like, oh, I'm kind of interested in enlightenment. Let me check out this teaching, listen to Eckhart Tolle, and, the power of now, or whatever, wherever your starting point is. Or I found this video on YouTube, or oh, I heard about this guy talking about Zen. Wherever you start with like just a little kernel of desire, and then the more you find out about awakening, the more ability you have to expand that desire. And eventually it will become your chief desire in all of your life, is to awaken deeply, 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 to go as far as you can possibly go. That's when you start to have some hope of going all the way on this hopeless journey of an individual who doesn't actually exist awakening. It's a funny thing. It's a funny, just fool's journey. It is a really funny fool's journey that we're going to somehow cultivate the desire to do something that in a sense is already done. That's what we're playing around with. And it's great. And one of the things here is you have to find a desire to stumble around and not awaken on the journey of feeling like you're awakening when the whole time you're not. And eventually you will have all of the reference points necessary in your memory that you call up in a given moment to see, I did that and it didn't awaken me. I did that and it didn't awaken me. I did that and it totally fucking awakened me, but it's totally not fucking now. But it's the same sort of fabric of reality that is now, sort of, although now just past. And you're going to see all these different reference points to tell you where the fuck you're at in reality. And eventually you're going to see, I'm right here. I'm right now, so to speak, although it just passed already. This is what reality is. It's like Leo Gura loves to do. Stare at your hand. I want you to get your hand out, whichever one you prefer. Lefty here. Stare at the hand. This is reality. This is now. Sort of. This is what we're working with. This is enlightenment. It's your hand. Just look at the hand. Feel the hand. Taste the hand. Smell the hand. The hand doesn't smell like much because I clean my hands enough, but not too much to where they smell like soap. There's really very little smell there. Feel the hand moving. It's a hand. This is the moment. This is the now. The hand might have things on it, jewelry. Be here with the hand and just do it. If you can find yourself having a desire to be with the hand, to dance with the hand, and to awaken with the hand is the Buddha. This hand, more awakened than your historical Buddha, more awakened than your Vajrayana guy, more awake than everybody you've ever met, is this Buddha, this hand right now. And now we must kill it and just beat it to death now. It's a joke. If you meet the Buddha on the road, kill him. That's the saying, right? Why? Because now is the only place you can find the Buddha, and then your own experience is the only place you can find or verify that there isn't a Buddha. So dance around and have fun here. Cultivate the desire on accident as a non-person with a bit of persona. You cultivate that desire now by just an interest in awakening. Maybe you read some Kabbalah, do some tarot. There are so many different ways to awaken. And at the end of the day, it's all in your mind. It's all in your personal experience that you get to do this. This is where we're gaining the reference experiences. Right here. You can use crystals to awaken. I mean, you can use sound to awaken. Like, there's all kinds of ways. Plenty of ways to awaken. But it's ultimately, you have the desire, and you have just the right amount of desire to slowly break it out of your ego's thought and your ego's control. You slowly take out the illusion that you can do anything to awaken yourself. And you do this by feeling like you authentically do have something you can do to awaken yourself. And here we are. And, maybe this is the best way or not the best way that I could teach what awakening is or isn't. It ultimately doesn't matter. If we're talking about authentic, full, final, total, ongoing awakening, we're talking about becoming a Buddha automatically. You're already there. Like, you're doing everything you ought to be doing. You're meditating just the right amount, or you're ignoring meditation just the right amount. Like, it doesn't matter. Realize, like, it doesn't really matter. Like, you are helpless to the process of awakening, and it's going to take as long as it does, or as little amount of time as it does, for you to realize at some point that you're to a satisfactory point with this awakening journey. Or maybe you're not satisfied at all and you feel like there's so much more to get to. That own feeling will take itself to its own completion. Your feeling of lack of understanding will bring you to understanding. You're just going to torture yourself to awaken deeper. If you're really into this stuff, if you have the capacity to awaken all the way, it's already within you. You don't have anything to worry about. And maybe you've already clicked off of this video by now because you're off doing something even more useless to awakening or more useful to awakening. It doesn't matter. You're gonna get there. That's my main lesson to you right now, is that you're gonna get as awake as you're gonna get, and you have no control over it. You have nothing to do. You can meditate now. You can meditate never again. You can die and have another life, or there can only be this life. You're gonna get as awake as you get. And it all comes down to how much you want awakening and what kind of ideas and teachings and methods and techniques you come across. And you're gonna do them if you want to awaken, and you're not gonna do them if you don't want to awaken. And you're gonna find some hopeless point where you feel like you can't awaken anymore, or you're gonna find some hope-filled or just hope-fulfilled point where you feel like, yeah, I've already done it, gone all the way, we're good. And at that point, you're really just trying to awaken enough until you realize you don't need any more awakening. You don't need any more enlightenment. That's the beautiful point. You realize you don't need any more enlightenment. At that point, there's no more work to be done. Until you feel like, fuck, I do need some more enlightenment, and guess what? You're gonna do it. You're gonna go find the meditation technique you want to try now, or you'll go find the new teacher, or you'll come across the new video of some monk lady, maybe named Samanari Jayasara. I think I said that right. She makes all kinds of good readings of ancient and modern awakening teachings of the different spiritual masters of many traditions. You might find that, or you'll find some other YouTube video, or maybe AI will teach you a crash course of the best 20 awakening teachings of all time. Like, you could type that in now. ChatGPT, Microsoft Copilot, whatever other AI search tool you want to use. Um, there are like an infinite number of ways to awaken, and I've now exhausted this, and I just recorded this on my new phone, and it's going to be 120 frames per second, and the file for this video is going to be way too large, like unnecessarily large, and it's going to have just a minimal impact. And honestly, the whole reason you're getting this teaching is because I wanted to upload a video in my new camera settings. So enjoy. Take that as far as you want to take it, and awaken. Look at your hand, do something